Why comedy fans are so angry at the Riyadh Comedy Festival and the comedians involved. But here's where it's controversial. The stand-up comedy community and its loyal fans are now in turmoil over some of the world's most iconic talents choosing to perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia. Though the kingdom is undergoing a bold shift toward modernization, a move often called Vision 2030, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud has stirred up chaos by allegedly ordering the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi for criticizing the monarchy, a crime that left the world stunned. https://www.bbc.com/world-europe-458123999. Since then, thousands have been imprisoned, some even executed. Thousands enforced forced labor system, which enforces forced labor, continues to operate under the radar. Human Rights Watch has labeled Saudi Arabia's treatment of its citizens as abysmal. But some top athletes and entertainers are still choosing to host events in the kingdom. For example, the LIV Golf Tour and WWE, now streaming on Netflix, have both announced plans to host WrestleMania 43 in 2027. Despite the country's brutal human rights record, https://film.com/1837961 Netflix WWE Monday Night Raw ratings disaster. The wealth and ambition of Saudi Arabia are undeniable. But can artists and athletes truly justify profiting from such a regime? It depends on who you ask and how much they earned. The Riyadh Comedy Festival, running from September 26 to October 8, attracted a lineup of international stars, including Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, and Bill Burr. If such an event were held in the U.S., it could easily fill the Rose Bowl. Saudi Arabia clearly recognized the value of these performers, offering comics between $300,000 and $1.6 million for a single hour of work. Time.com/7321523 Saudi Comedy Festival Dave Chappelle. Was it worth it? Bill Burr, who once dismissed the Middle East as a dangerous place, admitted he was surprised by his own performance. "I'm not going over there and getting kidnapped and having my head sawed off on YouTube," he said. Yet he defended his choice by acknowledging that Saudis imposed strict rules on humor. Jokes about royalty and religion were forbidden, but he found common ground with the locals. "These guys are just like us," he said. Via Variety, "I don't speak the language, but I get it." He added, "You think everyone's going to scream death to America and throw machetes at me? Because this is what I've been fed about that part of the world." But when he realized Saudi Arabia is home to American chains like Pizza Hut and Burger King, he realized he had more in common with the people than he thought. Pete Davidson, whose father was a firefighter who died saving lives during 9/11, is one comedian fans would likely avoid. His father's death, linked to alleged Saudi ties, has fueled outrage. https://www.nytimes.com/2024/sept11saudities.html. How did Davidson reconcile accepting Saudi money for his jokes? On a podcast, he dodged the issue and said, "I just know I get the routing, and then I see the number, and I go, I'll go." Some comedians have taken a stand against the festival. One notable example is Marc Maron, a legendary comedian and host of the WTF podcast, who criticized the decision on Instagram. The same guy who's going to pay them is the same guy who paid that guy to bonesaw Khashoggi and put him in a suitcase. But don't let that stop the yucks. It's going to be a good time. Maron didn't get a slot, but Shane Gillis did. Refusing a significant bag doubled after the first refusal, because he couldn't perform for the Saudi royals. "I took a principled stand," he said. "You don't 9/11 your friends." David Cross, star of Arrested Development and co-creator of Mr. Show with Bob and David, lambasted the festival on his blog. "People I admire with unarguable talent would condone this totalitarian fiefdom. What, a fourth house? A boat? More sneakers?" He then said, "Clearly you guys don't give a about what the rest of us think, but how can any of us take any of you seriously ever again? All of your being about cancel culture and freedom of speech and all that done. You don't get to talk about it ever again. And this is the part most people miss. Social media has split into factions on X, Facebook, and Blue Sky, with fans divided on whether to support or condemn the festival. Some argue the comedians are exploiting a crisis, while others see them as victims of a corrupt system. Will the damage to their reputations be permanent? We'll have to wait until October 8 to find out, but it seems likely that some professional relationships are crumbling. Do you think artists should prioritize their conscience over financial gain? The debate over whether comedians should profit from regimes like Saudi Arabia's is far from settled. While some argue that the industry must adapt to changing times, others believe that ethical considerations should outweigh economic incentives. As the festival draws to a close, the question remains, will the comedy world finally embrace a new era of transparency, or will it continue to be a battleground of ideals?